I think we're here. Does it feel like we're here, Mitch?
It feels like we're here.
It could be. I think we are.
I'm here.
It's Friday night, and we are here talking to you guys out there in the internet world. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mitch Taylor, myself, we are going to be talking about things that matter absolutely still in the real world.
Yeah. But they matter greatly to you.
We're hoping. We're hoping. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the 12 Days of Christmas night, number 2, with the one and only Mitch Taylor.
Numero dos.
We are going to be talking about awesome things tonight. We're going to be giving away tonight's prize is a full pass to Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2017.
Woo-hoo!
If you were watching us on Facebook, you just got to see kind of a little ad about that. If you're watching us on YouTube, you didn't get to see that because, well, that was over there, and now you're over here. If you are watching on Facebook, there are links below. You'll want to jump out to the YouTube because that's where we're going to keep track of the chat. I apologize if you were with us and you were on Facebook last night. Some put 2 or 3 comments and questions, and we can't watch the Facebook one as well. It just doesn't work. So we watch the YouTube chat. Click the link, show 2 or night 2, and come on and join us over here on YouTube. We got
join us on YouTube Live.
Yes, we've got Robin and Troy and Brian and Howie. Thank you guys for joining us. It's going to be a fun night tonight. Then a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk for a little bit, do the first prize. Then we're going to do some more things, and then we're going to be giving away something we're either going to do a subscription, a 1-year free subscription to Disc Jockey News, or we've got some Disc Jockey News shirts that will be one of the two, depending upon, like Robin last evening is a subscriber. Thank you, Robin. And Robin's going to get, actually, don't tell Robin, but one of those new jackets back there, I'm going to send one of those to Robin.
Wow.
Don't tell her. Because that's just the way it's got to be.
Okay.
The way it's got to be. Because, yes, we got those sitting right around the corner at Disneyland today. Oh, sweet. Cameron's going to tell us all about that. We need a live report right from Disney.
Nice.
That would be awesome.
That would be sweet.
That would be sweet. It would be more entertaining. My kids might watch that.
Right.
There's the mouse. And of course, because it's 12 Days of Christmas, you can see we've once again decorated the set. Mitch, right above our heads is our nice kind of wreath with Christmas balls and the bells. I mean, take a look. It's right there. It looks really pretty up there.
Aww.
Oh, yeah, we did a nice job with that. We just want to make it special for everybody.
Festive.
Yeah, it is really festive. I'm just feeling a little kind of jovial. Yeah. Okay, so Mitch, tonight, let's talk a little bit. We're going to kind of build off. Casey and I were talking last night, and one of the questions that we're going to kind of take off from that point is someone was asking if you're getting started and trying to, and this question's actually come up from a few different sources. But if I'm trying to get started and get off the ground with my DJ business, what is some advice or some tips? And let's start it from that point, and then kind of build on that and take it from there. So, I'm brand new. I'm excited. I have some mixing skills. How do I start my business?
How do you start your business?
Or how do I get people to book me?
Okay, got it. Yeah. How do you get people to book you? So, what I would tell someone just new starting in the business, because we've all been there, right? At some point in time. We've all been there. Just sharing what I did was really get out there and darken the doorways and beat the pavement and, find, local pros that are doing things that you want to be doing. Who is in that seat currently, or who is out there that you can emulate in business? Just a quick example. When I was in Metro Detroit for 7 years, I'm dating myself now, from 96 to 03. And we moved up to the Upper Peninsula in Escanaba in 2003. And that was when Tailored Entertainment was started. So I moved completely from a major metropolitan city in Detroit to this city here where no one knew me whatsoever, a town of 12,000 people, but no one knew me.
Yeah.
And started my business. I did some market research, absolutely, before I got up here. But one of the bigger advantages that I had was I did market research in advance. I found out who was doing things similar to how I was downstate up here. And then I ended up having, a phone call chat with a gentleman who now is actually one of my best friends, Lee Haynes.
Yeah.
And Lee was the agency for me. He was my agent for the first few years anyway, that I was up here. So that was another way to gain business, to allow me to actually have, leverage the relationships that somebody else had already established in the area first, to kind of get my feet wet and get my feet on the ground first, and then build my business from there.
So let's focus right on. Let's dig into that. That's a great spot to, because even Drax and I, when we've talked about this, and even KC last night, had talked about working for some others. Now, what kind of a relationship would you recommend a person who wants to go out and basically get their business going? Would you recommend them going and becoming a staff member for an established DJ system? I mean, how would this work? I mean, you as a multi-system operator, if you had someone who was like, gosh, I really want to get into this DJ thing and want to make this a profession, what would you, as the owner, let's start from that, Esther. What would you, from the owner, find that appealing to work with?
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand clearly what you're saying. You're saying, for me, the owner, if I had someone come in right now,
and they're like, I want to get, I love the DJ thing. I want to learn. I want to do this. I want to break into the business. And what would be something that you, as the owner of the company, would say, yes, okay, here's the type of deal that I would prefer to have you come in and be our DJ, in essence, for 3 years. We'll teach you the business, that kind of a thing.
So if we're putting the shoe on the other foot, if I'm the owner and now you're coming to me as a DJ and saying, I want to break into the business, I want to work underneath you, and then, break out on my own, if you will, from there. We're going to have that conversation, and I would respect the fact that you're being upfront with me about your intentions. And to me, that's the only way to approach it. Is you need to be ethical in your approach and tell someone, hey, I want to do this, but I do want to break out on my own here. I think it's an upfront conversation.
I think I would agree highly,
and it absolutely should be anyway. Now, from that standpoint, do I take on someone like that or not? I don't know. Frankly, in my opinion, that would be tough. But I would hope that we could have a conversation. We could have a discussion about things, and we could determine whether or not it was a right fit, and also determine the fact that, okay, if I am taking care of this person, if I am ensuring they get great work, if I'm ensuring that their calendar is full, and then also showing them some of the behind the scenes stuff that they may have no idea that goes on in the business, the tax bracket, dealing with clients that may not be, maybe challenging, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. Or vendors or venues, whatever the case may be. Show them the reality of being in business, that maybe they won't want to go out on their own.
Very true.
If we treat them exceptionally well, if we pay them well, if we give them resources, then it's a conversation, right? And so I would want someone to absolutely be to be ethical with me and tell me up front what's going on. I think every company is different. Right now, Tailored Weddings very much subscribes to the Mike Walter School of staff, and that is from a standpoint of everyone's an employee, not a subcontractor, which is very different than how I originally broke into this market, obviously.
Yep.
But that's pretty much what we do, is everything. Everyone is an employee, not a subcontractor or not an agency work. So it's an upfront conversation, I think, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great point, that conversation in the beginning. But I think it's one of those, that you mentioned the subcontractor. There are many companies out there that would be just completely delighted to have someone come in and work for them. That basically, fill those 10 to 12 days that we have people coming to us and basically to work under my banner. So I mean,
I don't want to poo-poo anybody. If that's your business model, then cool, kudos to you. Cool.
Yeah.
I got no issue with that whatsoever. The only thing I have an issue with from that standpoint is that you're upfront with the brides or the clients or the mitzvah or whatever you have for clientele, that you're upfront. And, not every DJ company owner I've come across has been upfront about those kind of things. So it's just, something to consider.
Yeah, we're back to communication, which has been a kind of an ongoing topic when they're discussing sales, and every aspect of it is that open lines of communication is so huge.
Yeah, it's so huge, so huge, so huge.
So now let's turn ourselves around to the DJ who's wanting to basically learn more about the industry. You said you did some research. You connected with Lee. He was your booking agent for a period of time and such. I mean, how would a DJ who's wanting to learn from someone who's established, how would they go and they find someone like you found Lee that would work with you? Because as we just mentioned, there's a lot of shysters, and I'm going to probably age myself with saying shysters, but there's a lot of shysters in our industry that we'd want to stay away from.
For me, it was really doing my research and really digging in. And this was, 2003, which was still Web 1.0.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, and doing my research and really seeing who was doing things similar to what I was doing in Detroit up here. And frankly, he was the only one at the time. So that made my decision very easy. And looking back, it was extremely, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. I don't know if there's any way to say it. It was extremely ballsy. I hope I can say that.
Let's say forward. It was extremely forward of you.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. It was extremely forward for me to call him up on the phone. I literally picked up the phone. I'm driving on the freeway down in Meth, Detroit, and I said, "Hey, my name is Mitch Taylor, and I'm moving to your market. You're the only one that looks like doing things like I do down in Detroit. We could be competitors, or we could be friends. What do you want to be?" That was God's honest truth. That's exactly what I said. And Lee took that, and because of how he is as a person, and very much he's more arrogant than I am, probably. That's putting it nicely. That reflected with him, I think, and that connected with him. So yeah, that's kind of what we had for an agreement and a relationship to start off with, and move from there.
So in this, that you mentioned that was in Web 1.0 or less, we'll call it. In this day and age, how would they do some research to find? What would you recommend for avenues to do some research to find the different, who is the reputable company in the market?
So I think first off, you want to look at a few different things. Are they a member of the American Disc Jockey Association? Do they have any national ties? Are they attending conferences? Check out their Facebook feed, check out their Instagram, look at their Wedding Wire reviews and see Facebook reviews as well. See where they rank, if you will, and what kind of reviews they have. Is this someone you want to partner with? And that's a big question, I think. Is this someone you want your name associated with?
Mm-hmm.
And I know lots of DJs that will go out and actually, fill in for another DJ on a night that they have open or whatever.
Yep.
Totally cool. As long as that DJ that's doing the fill-in is absolutely representing the other DJ company that night, and they're not handing out their own card on the side behind their back kind of thing. That to me is unethical.
Yeah.
But from that standpoint, you want to do your research and just dive in. I think Web 2.0, 3.0, where we're at right now, is way easier to do those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Find out, who's reputable, who's not. I know people that have gotten burned by some that they thought were reputable and ended up not being so.
Yeah.
It's definitely a conversation. It's definitely a gut feeling. It's definitely something that, look before you leap, man. That's, that's a big thing for me. Look before you leap and do that research.
Yeah, I think that looking before you leap, or doing your research and then checking again, cross-referencing, don't go by one source, is so huge, because again, there's just things out there. There's people out there, and many are good, honest, hardworking people. But if you don't want to yoke yourself, and I use the phrase yoke.
No, I get it. Oxen.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Now we are dating ourselves.
Yes. Exactly. Well, now that I'm getting into
that certainly is a dated reference.
I'm going biblical on us right now. So
yes, but from that standpoint, I guess I'll go here too. for someone that's coming into Tailored Weddings looking for a job, I'm going to have at least 2 interviews with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just one interview, because anyone can show up and be great at one interview. Anyone. I think anyone can. But having 2 interviews, that means they got to show up on time 2 times in a row. And the second interview is also with my wife, who is our HR department here.
Nice.
And so for me, especially in a small market, and in a town of 12,000 people like I am in Escanaba, and even big city too, it doesn't matter. The reality is that's your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And those people are going out and representing you as a company every single Saturday.
Yes.
So to me, the one question we have at the end is, do I trust you with my house keys?
Interesting.
And that ultimately is the ultimate question. Because if I can trust you with my house keys, I can trust you with my business.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, to me, exactly what we got. If someone go down on a Saturday night, I got to know that I can trust them.
Yeah.
My reputation.
And to a point, and speaking as someone who's made that bad hire with people that were not reputable, there's times I'd almost rather give them the house keys than to give them the name of the company behind it.
We've all made bad hires. I can remember at least 1 and possibly 2 in my career that I've made already so far in the short time we've had staff over the last 6 years, 5-6 years, whatever it's been. So yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, but you know what? And it's something I've always told my staff too from their onset. It's like, listen, I'm learning just as much as you're learning. This is us together as a brand working to grow this thing. Each one of you, and I had this in my office. I wish we were in my office in Escanaba. You'd be literally right behind me. I have an old wagon wheel. Old wagon wheel in my office. And the reality is that every one of those spokes represents a team member. And so what happens with a wagon wheel, if one of the spokes goes down, the whole thing will crumble eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the key is you want to have all the spokes working congruently together to keep that wheel turning.
Yeah.
So
good visual.
Yeah. So that I did a speech on that at one point for a couple of different organizations on the wagon wheel concept. And yeah. So that's
you speak. I didn't know this.
Right.
Rick had so if I'm open and I do a job for another DJ company, I've always represented that company to the bride and groom, which is exactly right.
Yeah, you should. And I think I covered that. I saw Rick's comment, and
okay. So good. You got it. I'm just trying to look back a little bit before we change topics. So good.
So I hope I explained that correctly, Rick. I hope I covered it.
I thought you did too. So I just wanted to make sure we'd covered in case he came in a little bit late. So wonderful.
I know Rick. He's only like 2.5 hours from me. He's in Appleton.
Very cool. Yeah, he's on the way this direction.
Yeah.
Let's take a little bit of a break here. We're going to run our sponsors for tonight's show, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do the drawing, and then we're going to get into. I think we're so close to bridal show season. I think we need to kind of dig into that just a little bit. So let's do that right after. If you guys have got questions that you'd like us to dig into, even if it's not related to what we're talking about at that moment,
ask John.
No. Put it in the comment section here on YouTube, and we'll dig into that because that's what we're here for. Basically, tonight is to help give some insight if we can, and if it's something we have no idea, we'll just sit here and look dumbfounded for a few seconds. Okay, that was fun. So we'll be right back. We've got our sponsors for our 12 Days of Christmas. Their links are in the description below. Go down and show them some love because without their support, things like this just wouldn't happen. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year again. Time to sign up for the Disc Jockey News 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. This year we have 12 days packed full of amazing prizes you can win. On the first day, you can win 5 specialty video downloads worth $125 from promo only. On day 2, someone is going to win a full show pass for Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2017. Up for grabs on day 3 is 3 months of digital downloads from Top Hits USA. On day 4, you can win a Swarm 5 FX from Chavez DJ. Multiple winners on Night 5 means you can win either a Weather System EXA from Blizzard Lighting or one of 4 copies of Dex 3 software from PC DJ. On Night 6, we're giving away a Stinger Star from ADJ. You can make your own Christmas star if you win the prize on Night 7, an Uno Laser Legacy GBC from ProX. On the 8th day, you can win 1 year of digital downloads from Prime Cuts. Up for grabs on the 9th day is an iPad Mini brought to you by DJ Event Planner. On the 10th day, you have a chance to win a Newmark NV2 DJ controller. Win on the 11th day and you can be playing your holiday music from a set of EKX 12-piece speakers from EV. And finally, on the 12th day, JBL is offering up a shiny new pair of PRX 815W speakers. Bonus prize, all the winners from each night will also receive their own pair of gig gloves. You even have a chance to snag up some official Disc Jockey news gear just by joining our chat room on each night's live show. To sign up, stop by discjockeynews.com/12 days of Christmas. No purchase is necessary and all prizes will be delivered by Christmas. Best of luck, everyone.
So those are our sponsors. Thanks, MJ, for putting that together for this show.
Sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. They are the ones that are, again, making this happen. We've got some really cool things coming up. You just went through. You saw the whole list. And tomorrow night, we have a special. We're actually doing a bonus show tomorrow night because the world can't get enough of Ron Ruth. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to start at 8 o'clock Eastern with Ron Ruth, and I will talk from 8 to about 8:45. And then I'm going to switch from this studio. And then at 9 o'clock, we're going to be over in that studio. And I believe that I've got MJ and Jimmy Spins. Jimmy's going to go and he's picking out the songs that we're going to be using tomorrow night. And tomorrow night is basically kind of doing a build a set. We're doing a what would you follow this up? And we're going to have suggestions from you guys in the chat room. And we're going to have to do this with the webinar and the YouTube. So we're going to work on that. But you guys are going to give us suggestions, and I want to put together a laundry list. So, as an example, if one of the songs is Ice Ice Baby, I'd love to have 5 different songs that you guys have successfully followed that up with over the years, and we'll listen to them, and people can get an idea of how they'll go together. So, it should be a fun night. Sexy back.
117 beats per minute.
Yeah, see, you guys like your beats per minute. I just, I'm playing a song, and then I just, like, hey, wow, let's play a country song.
So many things that you can do that with. I mean,
yeah, doesn't Sexy Back follow everything according to Drax? Turntables, Art. Yes, I've got one turntable over there. I've got a Stanton with the stylus is an or. I'm not very good at this, and I apologize. The stylus was the most expensive part of that. The stylus is more expensive than the turntable. Sounds phenomenal. Just it's a beautiful sound. So that's what I have over there right now. That's going to change. That one will go into the house when the Denons are released. Because that's the Denon studio over there. It's got the sound system banners and the controllers and everything. It's really fabulous little system over there. But I need to get the decks from that'll be there. Okay, so that's right. Tonight, we've got our first prize, which is a full show pass to Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2017, where, if I'm not mistaken, Mitch, you are going to be at the door taking tickets.
I will be, yes. I'll be collecting 20s at the door.
I love that part.
Yo tengo dinero, caballero.
I'm going to show you to your seat now.
Exactly. Looking forward to Mobile Beat. It's going to be great, so... Yeah, looking forward to speaking on, I believe I'm on Wednesday, I think, at 11 a.m. or something like that. So.
Yeah, about the time when, most of us are getting up.
Yeah.
11 a.m. on a Wednesday. Yeah, that's
at least I'm not the 9 a.m.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We made that mistake last year of doing our live broadcast at like 8 in the morning, which great content, but who is the guy who thought that up? Not so great.
But it was in the morning. Vegas is 11 o'clock Eastern.
I know it should have been much easier than it was. It sounds like it's just that I forget that 10 o'clock Vegas is midnight home. Yeah, that's the part I kind of forgot. So anyway,
if you haven't gone to Mobile Beat, you have to go. it's where people just come together.
Yeah.
And it's a great camaraderie and community, and the show floor is huge, and there's so much you can see and do and experience and learn, not just the seminars, but in talking with your fellow DJ and breaking bread together and hanging out. And Northern Disc Jockey Conference is where John and I really started connecting, and it's and yes, Rob Foray is speaking too, Cameron, and definitely you should join us. In fact, there's a slight chance I may get out for one of the NSA chapter meetings in Salt Lake too coming up. So who knows?
Cool. Last year, the Disc Jockey News did our first ever tamale party. We had
Yes.
That was an interesting event, and I know we're going to do the drawing, but now you're going to have to bear with me for a little bit. Today, for those of you who follow the Disc Jockey News channel, I actually went back to one of the eye doctors today, to the retina doctor who did all the surgery on both retinas, and he looked at it and he's like, "Ooh, the left one, which I didn't think was healing as much as it." He goes, "It's really made some good progress. He can see it on their scans." So that means that the left eye may not need to have a fourth surgery on, and if it does, it could be a year down the line. So that means that John will be able to fly in about 2 weeks. So that's good news, because that means NAMM and Mobile Beat Las Vegas now are both, there's potential to be there. So Lori and I were talking on our way back, are we going to do the tamale thing Monday night, or what are we going to do? But it sounds like the Disc Jockey News should be able to have a presence at that, and if we do, we're going to do some kind of a gathering there at the show, so you guys can kind of watch out for that a little bit.
Nice.
So pretty excited.
I know Mr. Sanchez had a question as well, but I want to go back to one of the very first questions we had before we hit the break.
Okay. Can we do it quick, or should we do the drawing quick and then get to it?
Oh, do the drawing. Okay. Absolutely do the drawing.
Yep, I just wanted to detour a little bit because we were talking Mobile Beat with the pass. Okay, so our winner of the pass. Now, if you guys looked in such, we can't mail things out to go internationally. But this is different because your name goes on the pass and you can go and pick this up. And our winner happens to be from the great country of Canada. Ta-da-da!
Canada!
It's pretty cool, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
Duke's DJ service, Gerald Duke, and he is from Windsor, Ontario. Ta-da! So if you know,
it's right by Detroit,
Gerald, you can drop him a line and say, "Hey, you won a full show pass to Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2017." Wow. That will be an awesome, because I think they're like $5,000 right now, aren't they? Somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's a great.
That's the value. The value is $5,000, and that's only because you get to sit and talk to Mitch and myself at the show. I mean, if you had to go and watch all the seminars, that'd probably be worth something too. But sitting and talking to us is worth a lot. Congratulations, Gerald. We will get the information over to you and get it over to Mobile Beat. But you are the winner of that, and you're also going to. Well, no, see, I can't do the gig gloves. We're gonna have to do the gig glove differently. We can't mail them. So you get the pass, you don't get the gloves. Sorry, that's just the way it is. We're gonna give the gig gloves away in the chat room tonight. So there's gonna be two prizes. One is going to be the passes, and the other will be a pair of gig gloves. So if you are in the chat room watching this, make a comment here, because we're going to be picking someone who made a comment. Last night, we picked a number between 1 and 20, and I counted back up 20 posts, and that was the person. So be on there, ask questions, chat away. Okay, so that's our first prize. We'll do the chat room drawing here in probably another 15 minutes or so, Mitch. So let's get to those questions that were up in there. Where were we at?
So the first question we had, and I forget who asked.
I thought it was days and night, or
was it day and night DJs?
I think so.
Let me try to find that. It was I can't find it again. Where was that question? Yeah, it was day and night DJs. What can we do at a bridal show to not be just another DJ?
Which is so huge, because
that
if you can do that, you win.
You need to find a way to differentiate yourself from anybody else in the marketplace. So again, I can only share what works for me. I've tried a lot of different things at bridal shows over the years. One of the things I found is that a lot of DJs will bring in their gear or their trussing or speakers or whatever. And I would tell you not to do that, because you're not selling your gear. You're selling the outcome of their event and what you can help create for them. The days of buying a DJ or shopping for a DJ based upon a music library is over, because everyone has the same music library now.
And yet I think I saw someone who just put together a website and they were so proud of it. And the first thing you saw on the top of it was over 100,000 songs at every event.
Who cares? You can't play them all.
Well,
the dancing portion of the night breaks down to 60 to 80 songs. That's it.
If you played each one for only a hundredth of a second.
No.
That
doesn't work.
I was just
so here's two things, and I'm going to give you two things really quick that I've done that I found successful. The first thing is courtesy of our good friend, Mike Anderson from Minneapolis or White Bear Lake.
White Bear Lake, yep.
Yeah, and Mike is an amazing man. He's just an awesome MC. Pleasure being in workshops with him and being a good friend of his over the years. But he gave me this idea back on DiscJockeyAmerica.com days, and that was to have past brides work your booth. So if you have a past bride in your booth, well, that's different because nobody does that.
Yeah.
So you have, brides come up that are looking at, your services and checking things out, and they see, women in your booth, and they're like, oh, well, so tell me about, and the bride's all, oh my gosh, look at your ring, and it's, what are your colors? And they start asking questions. Well, what are you doing well, Mitch did my wedding and he was awesome. And let me, share a little about what we did with Mitch for our wedding. And they get into a conversation. And that's different than just some DJ looking sharp in a suit or a tux going, so what's your date? And can I get, that information kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's much different to have a past brides work your booth if you can. The second thing I've done that has been very successful for us is, again, depending on the show that you have. For us, we do a lot of shows that are 100 brides or less, right, in the head count. And I've done shows that have 1,000 brides or more at them as well. Palace of Auburn Hills down in Detroit and places like that. Those kind of shows, the 1,000 brides or more or that kind of thing, you're stuffing bags and whoever has the best marketing material wins, right? But in this case, you want to be able to connect with the bride. So for me, I'm not trying to book the wedding or the contract at the bridal show. But what I want to do is I want to book meetings. And so we'll have a conversation just very simply and find out where they're at in their planning process. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're trying to find a DJ in the next 30 days or whatever? Sure. So if you want, we have these scratch-off cards here as part of our bridal show promotion. And what you do, you write your name on the scratch-off card. We set up a time to be able to meet with you the next week or two. And then you come in, we sit down, we talk about your wedding. We'll scratch off the scratch-off card together with you and see what you win. And it's pretty much just like I just said it. It's very conversational. It's very much just a standpoint of the scratch-off cards. We give them something that's low cost to us as a company, but high value to them. Now, whether that's one free wall of uplighting or whether that's a backdrop for their wedding date, which is really just my inventory and labor to set it up. Those things are already paid for at that point. It could be montage creation for their first dance or something like that. Something that's low cost to us, but high value dollar to them. Mm-hmm. So they do the scratch off card thing, and that we did 8 appointments at the last bridal show. Now we did have 2 that no call, no showed. Be point blank honest, those things happen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But we have booked 3 out of the 6 so far, and we have 1 or 2 more coming up here. I think in the next couple of days. I'll check with the schedule, but yeah. So that's that's one thing or 2 things I should say that I've used at bridal shows for success to help set us apart and not be just another DJ.
So now I want to switch gears on that just a little bit, and we're going to look at a DJ that we both know, and let's kind of guess, and I don't know how they sell at a bridal show, but let's, knowing kind of their strength, how they would do it. How would Jason Jani, his skills and his business. Now, if you're not familiar with Jason Jani,
I can tell you what Jason does.
Jason Jani is
do bridal shows.
he wouldn't. But I mean, someone at his level or his skill set. Jason Janai is the guy who at Mobile Beat Las Vegas, you will get, if you go down, you will get to meet him, take a picture with him, shake his hand, listen and watch him perform because he does the bumper music, what have you, between sets.
Amazing.
He will go and he'll be the warm-up act probably at some of the evening DJ events. This guy is very, very talented and a tremendous business person along with that.
His biz model is very different.
It is.
Very different. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing whatsoever. It's a good thing. It works for him.
Works wonderfully for him. Yes. Yeah. But I don't see, and maybe I just haven't seen it, that, Jason isn't, Bill Herman is a microphone MC.
Yes.
That's his strength area.
Mm-hmm.
Jason literally is flowing around the country for his mixing and his music mixing skills.
Mm-hmm.
So if he were to do, and again, someone like Jason Janai, because as you say, he that wouldn't do bridal shows.
Well, he does his own showcases. That's what he does. And there's nothing wrong with that
it
as
works
well.
Works
wonderfully for them. That's an East Coast thing, pretty much to my knowledge. I don't see too many Midwest companies doing showcases per se.
For those who aren't familiar with the showcase, what is a showcase?
So a showcase essentially, and Mike Walter is probably the best person to
He is. Yeah, you and I are going to refer.
But I will share what I know. A showcase basically is where you have a nice office suite, or maybe you rent out a ballroom, right? And you invite 2 or 3 other like-minded vendors to share the space with you at that point. Maybe you bring a caterer in to do some food. You bring someone to do some decor. You get the venue involved, kind of thing. And then you send out invites from brides that have contacted you, bridal lists, the knot list, wedding wire list, those kind of things, tuxedo shop lists. You send out invites to those brides from those lists, and you have them do a special RSVP. And it's a special night that you create just to be able to showcase your own services and the other vendors around you. So it's like you're having your own mini little show, if you will. And then you have a program set up, laid out, where you can showcase your services and those are the other vendors that are there. And then brides would also be able to get some great deals by booking at the showcase. But it's a way to get that one-on-one interaction with the bride and not have to be so, cattle call, dropping stuff in bags and hoping that you're able to contact that person later and maybe get a booking. Howie just said it. You have a lot of showcases in the New York metro area. Yes, absolutely. New York, New Jersey is notorious for showcases. Even in Metro Detroit, when I was in Metro Detroit, there was a company that did a lot of showcases in Metro Detroit. So that is absolutely a thing. Major metropolitan cities do showcases. Up here, we haven't done too many. Another thing I guess I'll throw one more nugget out there, that I have found beneficial at smaller shows. If you can find a room that you can rent, like off to the side kind of thing, or get a show producer to just give you, then I found great success doing a timeline workshop. David Lewis, our friend from Hawaii, has talked about those and has a timeline workshop at CD or something like that he's produced before in the past. Just search David Lewis on Facebook, Louis, and you should be able to find his contact information about a timeline workshop. I found that to be great success for me to, chat with brides about their timeline. How can we create their timeline for maximum effectiveness for their day? That's also been a great way to separate myself from any other DJ out there, is to truly, pardon the pun, but the subject of a seminar I did, be the expert, for those clients and for those brides and grooms looking. So that's one other way. Did I cover showcases effectively?
You did. Cameron asked how many show up, and I answered it, but I was just going to do it in case somebody's watching on Facebook. I've heard that some people, when they've done showcases, and some can happen, like Mitch was saying, if you've got a large office space, so like a suite in your office that they do, and I know so these guys have done it in both that and venues. I've heard sometimes there've only been six couples, and I've heard as many as 30. I don't know if I've heard many more than 30 when they've done.
I've heard a few more than 30 in the past, but maybe not more.
Maybe multi-company, when you have more of the multi-company. And I haven't heard as many of that, but it's what the cool thing about it is your booking rate. When you have, they're obviously interested in your type of service at that level, and they come in there, and I believe one of my conversations I had with, and I don't remember who it was with, they figured it cost them about, with food and drink, it cost them about $30 a person. So each couple was generally about 60, and then with all the different things, they figured they had about $250 into each couple that attended their showcase, which sounds like a lot, but then you realize that they were booking, I believe, around 90%. There's like one or two they would maybe miss in a group of people. Otherwise, people were writing checks out at the event.
Well, and here's the other thing you're creating in that moment. You're creating the fact that they're all there together experiencing the same thing together. It's like you walk into a car dealership and people are ringing the bell because they bought a new car. Oh, let's go buy a new car.
There's an excitement. The mob mentality, it works.
Yeah. And so that absolutely works in that arena, and it's something they're capitalizing on, and it's a great thing. If it works for them, I think it's awesome. I know that my friend Al, Mr. Sanchez there, he asked a question earlier I want to hit on real quick.
Yeah.
He asked if I started on turntables. I started on reel to reel. That's actually not that far from the truth. I did do some splicing of reel to reel back in the day. I had to play a request for a song back in radio off of reel to reel, believe it or not. The song was "Where Are You Now" by Jimmy Harnum with Sync. I don't know if you remember that song or not, but no, I did play on turntables and on Carnival. I taught myself how to beat mix on a Technics 1200. We had one Technics 1200 that worked. We had a Carver tape deck that worked, and we had one side of a Denon 2000F that worked, because the ship's vibrations knocked out the other laser
the rest of it,
on the other side of the CD deck. So taught myself how to beat mix, adjusting a Technics turntable over here and the pitch control on the Denon 2000F over here, and a Carver tape deck in the middle.
Funny.
The other question I saw we had was balance. Someone mentioned about during the holiday season. Trying to find who asked that question.
I'm not seeing it, but it's a little more. Things are still a little fuzzy from the laser surgery this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them. And I did see another question from Cameron. I want to try to. Oh, here, David Myers. All right, so David Myers, and then Cameron had a question on 15 seconds. So I want to hit that too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so David Myers, let me hit Cameron first because we're on the bridal show thing. I apologize, David. I'm going to get to you too. And I think it's nice to wrap up with the whole holiday and Christmas and family thing. I think that'd be a good thing. So Cameron, 15 seconds to catch a bride's attention and sell yourself. What do you say or do? Good question. Again, I think it depends on what you're delivering. I can only share how I would answer that question. What's the biggest memory you want to take away from your wedding day? Or if you could be a fly on the wall as your guest driving home, what do you want them to say about it? Or just ask them, what's most important to you about your wedding day? It may not be you, and that's okay.
Yep.
If it's not you. But maybe you can then take that person down the hall or whatever and show them, you want the best in cakes you've ever had. You need to go to Rowell's. You need to go to Kelly at Fort Love Cupcakes. Wherever they need to go. Send them, refer, right?
Yeah.
Help that person get what they need. So 15 seconds, again, there's all kinds of things. Humor is a great way to do that too. One thing I used to ask is, you got this big bridal show bag. How much of that is going to be kindling in your fireplace this week?
Mm-hmm. Quite a bit. Yep.
Yeah, right. And it's just you got to find the conversation starter that's going to, spark some conversation. We got the balance question. We can talk that if you want. Let me see. Who else do we have? We see that Matt Christensen's gender reveal party was a boy. Awesome. You DJ at 7 a.m., Rick? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Have
Let's
fun.
before Rick gets too far away. I'm not sure if he left yet. Let's pick a number between 1 and 30, Mitch.
Ooh, Cameron has a good one too.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 1 to 30. Between 1 and 30?
Yeah.
How about my daughter's birth date of 29?
Okay. 10, 11, 12.
I'm not making you count. I'm sorry. I should have did my son's at 5.
Okay, at 30, and again, mine's gonna look different because there's some posts that have been blocked and such, so it's gonna
Okay.
maybe look a little different than yours. I have got a gentleman by the name of Howie Darkstar is going to be our
Nice.
winner. Howie, we'll give you the choice between, and I think he's getting the paper, but Howie will. We'll take care of Howie with what he's going to do with the shirt and the gloves and such, or the shirt and hat. Let's do one more. And you said your son was 5?
Yeah.
One,
Number 5. My
Okay.
son's birthday is 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Day and night DJs would be that will be the gig glove winners. Howie, I've got
Awesome.
your information. Day and night DJs. I think I'm drawing a blank, and I'm sorry.
He's been a major. He's like
Yeah.
top at least half the things I've been on. I know for a
Yeah,
fact.
exactly. I'm not sure if I have your address and information. So message me with that when we get done with the show tonight, and I'll get you the gig glove sent out to you. And then Howie, you and I will talk tomorrow, or sometime here in the next couple of days, and figure out what we'll send your way. So you guys are our chat winners tonight. Good stuff.
Awesome.
Good stuff. So we've got that. Okay, we got a few more minutes here, Mitch, and then we need to let you go because family's important, especially at this time of the year. Actually, no, not just this time of the year, but always important.
Always important.
But what's cool about this time of the year is that we can take 2 weeks off and not have gigs, and we don't have to feel like we're letting our business go.
That's true. This time of year is probably my most down month from a planning, production, performance standpoint. November is always slow for us, which is okay for me. The fact that I can actually, take a break and catch my breath in November. Now we're sliding into December right now, of course, and it's good. And you'll be able to pick up those holiday parties now and pick up those events. And Allison's rocking an event tomorrow morning, and then there's a lot going on, man. Once you get the holiday parties rocking and rolling and everything else, so a lot going on.
So yeah, and the question about balance, was that about balancing?
Yeah, I'm trying to find that. Here it is. David Myers asked, my question was how to balance between business and family over the holidays. Scheduling. I would say you need to have a schedule. If you don't have a schedule currently, get one. I'm a big fan of DJ Event Planner. I love DJ Event Planner, and it works with my schedule very well, integrates with Google Calendar and iCal and all that. And I think it goes back to what we talked about originally too, which is, open conversations. My wife, she works long hours, and oftentimes, sometimes we're working literally, she's working in here and in her, this is actually her office I'm in right now. And then I'm at the kitchen table or vice versa kind of thing. And in the evening is sometimes just for her job and where she works, but communication, open lines of communication, taking the time to schedule with each other. Like literally 3 weeks ago, we drove down to Chicago. I knew she was working long hours and just, she's putting in, 16, 18-hour days sometimes. And I said, listen, we're going to just take a break. We're going to take 3 or 4 days. And I looked up and did some checking and found that the Goo Goo Dolls were playing in Waukegan. And my wife loves the Goo Goo Dolls, So they're playing in Waukegan, Illinois, which is right between Milwaukee and Chicago, literally halfway between those two cities. So we drove down and we made a little, 3-day trip out of it and took the time and just did some shopping, did some, dinners and took that time to as much as we could try to unplug and connect and have some time. And we're going to go to New Orleans here coming up as well. We got a family trip planned with the kids, going on a cruise and another thing in Orlando we're going to do with them. So I think it's about just scheduling the time and making the time. And then another thing, for me, it doesn't have to be vacations. It can be just simply every day acts, little acts that you do.
Yeah.
For me, it's, every morning I drive my kids down the driveway and sit with them, wait, put them on the bus. And every day I tell my son and my daughter, and every day before they get on the bus, I tell them 2 words. And those 2 words are what I ultimately want them to take and move forward with in life and use in their daily lives. And to me, it goes back to these 2 words. And if they use these 2 words, they'll be fine in life. And the 2 words to me are listen and focus. Because if they listen to what's going on around them and they listen to the people that are communicating with them, then they're going to be empathetic, they're going to understand, and they're going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they focus on what they have to do every single day, what they have to do to get their work done, what they have to do for homework, work, whatever it might be, right? They focus. Even on the person in front of them right now, if they focus, that's going to go a long way for them as well in life.
Very much so. Yeah.
So those are the 2 words that I impart to my kids literally every day. Listen, focus. So if it's just even a daily thing like that. And again, every family has ups and downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have arguments. We all get, upset with kids or whatever the case may be. But that's what we, in our household, we try to do. We daily activities as much as we can, little things like that. And then even day after Thanksgiving or day before Thanksgiving, I took my daughter to the movie theater to go see, it wasn't Trolls. It was the other one that was out right now for the Disney movie, animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a great time. It had a great time. Moana. That's Moana. That was the one with the rock in it. And it just spontaneous, right? Just, hey, let's go, let me leave work early. It's relatively slow right now. Let me leave work early. Let me go grab you and let's go to the movies. Just spontaneous things too when you can. So I think, trying to create some spontaneity with your spouse, with your kids, and then, doing what you can there to maintain that balance much you can. Yes, we all got to bust our butts and work hard. But maintain that balance is crucial, man. And try to set that time aside whenever you can.
For sure.
I hope that helped.
I think that was some good stuff. Definitely some good stuff there. And I think David left a little message. Yeah, you're Hubcap dude. You're a little late tonight. A little late, but thanks.
Hubcap dude.
Yeah, just popped in.
You down with HCD? Yeah, you know me. No.
But that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
That's probably been, Mitch, one area in the last 3 months or so, or especially in the last month, with this whole eye situation, is it's really changed a lot of how I am approaching the business, partially because of the limitations it put on me, that there's some things I can't do. And as an example, when I would get up a half an hour ahead of everyone else, get on a computer and clear emails off, and then get the kids up at 7:00. And then by then I probably saw something on the email, and then I'd go back and I better go reply to that. And then it just wasn't what I would like to do, but it was something I fell into, if that makes sense.
No, yes, it does. I've been there.
And with this, since the surgeries and such, and I can't see as well, it's you know what? It takes me way too long to do email. I'm just going to wait until the kids are gone. So I'm getting up and then basically just hanging out with the kids at the table. And Lori still has to do most of the managing of things because I just can't see to navigate and go up into darkened bedrooms and such. But I can spend time with the kids that way. And it's been kind of a cool thing. And as I'm looking at it, I don't, even when I can work, and right now I can work pretty well. I don't think I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to, that time until the kids are off is going to be for being with them.
Yeah.
Because there's times in the morning that, having the extra parent to help get something together is needed. And there's times where that's when they want to talk. All of a sudden, one of them comes up and says, "Hey, Dad, did you know this?" Okay, tell me about it. Let's talk about it. So not letting the business overtake, falling into that rut. And even with the other side of it is, is I'm trying to, do my things and get away from the computer in the afternoon, and whether that's to go and Lori and I go and do something, again, because she's my eyes to do most things, whether it's driving me here, but spending time with her, and then when the kids get home is, okay, now, well, how's your day? What's going on? Let's talk a little bit about things. So
yeah,
it's frustrating in many cases, but there's been some aspects of this that have made it a really kind of a beautiful time, if that can be said. So
it absolutely is. And when sometimes life forces you to stop.
Yeah.
I had a major bout with vertigo almost 3 years ago now, where it knocked me out for three weeks. And I barely performed at one wedding for my brother-in-law, and then a second wedding I ended up bringing backup, and I was able to pull it off with backup as well. But your health.
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, for sure. Because without that, then we're not there for our family if we don't have that.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of that and be there. And so, we're going to wrap things up. For those of you, not that I want to make this all about, but somebody had messaged earlier about what came from today. Again, I mentioned earlier that I won't have to have that surgery. On the positive side, the cataract surgery on the right eye, and that should work. The right eye should actually be back to 2020. There was a retina tear in the right eye that happened after the last retina repair. So he's like, I can fix that with the laser here in the office. So I've literally eye drops, numb it up, put me in this little machine, and did a laser repair on the right eye today.
Wow.
The technology, first off. Secondly, is like, oh my God, that hurt. It's like, don't do that. But anyway, so next week, cataract. Probably the only downer today was that my left eye looks like everything looks like it's a really foggy room from our DJ perspective, and it may never get back to what it was before. And you know what? If I can have one eye that's back to what it was, and this is still good for seeing peripheral. Don't get me wrong. It's just right in here. It's kind of gray, and he said it will get better. It's gotten a percentage better in the last 2 months, and he said it might take a year to get it to where it will be as healed as it's going to be. So it will get better. It's just I'm going to move forward with the idea that it may never be perfect, but I can function with it. And that's the important part. I can still be there. I can still read, function, be there with my kids, and I can still safely, I can still see my hand over here. It's not like those, for safety and for most things in life, it's great. Now, will I be able to close this eye and be able to see, a bird at, 200 yards? Probably not, but I can live with that. I can still.
Prayers from here, John.
Still be there. So, but that means that Lori's going to have to be my driver and eyes for another few weeks. So the woman's an amazing woman, and it's picked up.
She is.
She's kept this house afloat. So anyway, gang, thank you very much for being on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Thank you, John, for having me. We're praying.
Yeah, Mitch, thank you for coming on and chatting, and thank you guys for your prayers and thoughts and messages and such. That means so much, because there's times where this has been really, really frustrating to the point of just, yeah. I understand so many more things now after having this, and I don't want to bore you guys with it tonight. So we'll just wrap things up, and tomorrow again we'll be back 8:00 Eastern time. Ron Ruth will be here, and we're going to talk weddings. We're really going to dig into the wedding side, and we wanted to talk wedding music specifically. So I don't know if we're going to do playing some of the things, but we're going to talk about some of the music we play at our weddings and that we played over the years, that maybe there's some forgotten hits, what have you. So we're going to talk wedding music, and then in the second session that starts at 9:00 Eastern, that's when we're going to go through and do the build a set. So it should be a fun night. So once again, Mitch,
nice.
Thanks for being on, and
thank you, John.
Catch you guys tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern. Good night, everyone.
Good night.